Hi, I'm Sara Delaney from One Big Happy Yarn Company. Thank you for joining me for Corner to Corner Crochet Along. In this episode, we're going to be working on the Woodland Stripes Triangle Shawl. We're going to learn just how to corner to corner crochet, and we get to do that with the fantastic colors of the Noro Yukata yarn. Are you ready to get started? I'm so excited to turn the magic of these colors into this amazing shawl with the simplest corner to corner technique. So let me just give you the visual. We're going to start way down at the point of this shawl here, and then we're going to work all the way up to this top edge. So you see how that top edge is like a sawtooth? That's the last row. So there's no fancy finishing, no fancy edging on this. The technique does it all for us. Let me just open up this great barrel of yarn, and it really is like a barrel of yarn, and you only need one of these skeins of the Noro Yukata for this whole shawl. And while it seems like when you're looking at the shawl all those different colors happen, the yarn does it all. I mean, look at that. Look at all those different colors that you get to see. And the great thing about these barrels is that you can reach right in and grab the end. So let me just slide this over here to my left. That's where I like to keep my yarn when I'm working. And I am working with a G6, which is a 4mm hook. And I'm using one of our new Dreams hooks. So this is a birchwood hook. It's got just a little bit of a divot here for a thumb rest if you are the kind of crocheter that likes to have your thumb on the hook. I roll my hook when I crochet, so I like one that doesn't have a big thumb rest or a big flat spot. So we'll have scissors, stitch markers, tapestry needle. The great thing is that you're only going to have two ends to weave in, one at the beginning and one at the end. And I always start with a slip knot, and my slip knots are adjustable by the tail. You can see here, if I pull on the slip knot, my tail is going to get shorter. And then to tighten up my slip knot, I pull on the tail to close up that loop. You can do it either way if you want to tighten it up by the working yarn. That's just how I usually do it, old habits. And we're going to start with a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to go into the 4th chain from the hook. So the loop on your hook never counts as anything, it's just potential. We're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4th chain here. Now there's 2 options for you. The easiest option, we'll be doing a double crochet, is to go under the top loop of this chain, just like that. But because this part of this chain is actually going to become the side edge of this shawl, I actually like to turn the chain 90 degrees and work into the back bump, just like that. Now sometimes you have to give it a little help to get your hook through there, and then you'll yarn over and pull up, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 to complete that double crochet. So there are 2 more stitches here. Let me roll it over so you can see it. There's that 5th chain and there's that 6th chain. And if I turn it here, you can see that bump in the middle and that bump there. So we're going to do a double crochet in each of those. And again, sometimes working into the back bump is a little fiddly, but the finished edge is totally worth it. 1 more, yarn over and pull through 2, through 2. Okay, that is our first square. That's our first block. That is the very corner of our shawl. Let me show you. That is this bottom corner here, right there. We just made that. And now we're going to move on to row 2. And row 2 begins exactly the same way. We're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's our 6. And again, we're going to go back to the 4th chain from the hook. So the loop on your hook isn't anything but potential. So we go back 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll do that again with the tip of my hook because 1, 2, 3, 4. This, and you lose your yarn over. This is the 4th stitch, but again, I'm going to roll it and I'm going to go into that back bump there. Do you see it? It sort of rises out of the back of your chain. I'm going to go into that bump. Again, sometimes you need a little help to push your hook through and complete my double crochet. And then I have 2 more to do my double crochets into. There's 1. 1 more, lives right there. Again, just a little help to get it through. All right, so we've completed our second block, and man, does this look wonky. So this doesn't look anything like our triangle shawl, does it? Here's the magical thing. We are going to bring this square, this block that we first made, up here. You see that? Just kind of hanging out there. We're going to bring it up here so that the space between the first couple of chains that we made and the first double crochet matches up with where our hook is. And we're going to do a slip stitch into that space. See that? And now we're going to do the second block of row 2. We're going to chain 3. And then we're going to do 3 double crochets all into that same space. There's 1. It's going to pull some more yarn. I like a lot of slack in my working yarn. No tension, please. I am a relaxed crocheter. You can be too. There's a second, and here's a third. And that is the end of row 2. One of the great things about this pattern is if you ever forget where you are, you just count the number of blocks in the last row that you worked. They match the number of the row. So that was row 2. It's got 2 blocks in it. Now we're ready to begin row 3. And they all begin exactly the same. We're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, find the 4th chain from the hook. I'm going to find that back bump and work into it and complete my double crochet. Sometimes your yarn likes to hang on to itself in the background. Just encourage it to straighten it out. I'm going to do a second double crochet into the next back bump and a third double crochet into that last chain from the chain 6 we made. Now this is where the pattern of how you match everything up to what you're doing comes in handy. So our piece tends to hang down below the block that we're making like this. And so I've found that the easiest way to move into actually working the rest of a round is to bring the previous rows up from behind. See how that matches? It's just kind of hanging down here and I bring it up from behind. Now I'm going to find that space between the first 3 chains and the 3 double crochets, and I'm going to do a slip stitch, just like we did on row 2. Then I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to do 3 double crochets into that space. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm ready to join to the next block. I find that space between the 3 double crochets and that chain 3, and I do a slip stitch, and then I chain 3, and then 3 double crochets right into that same space that you did the slip stitch into. There's 2, and here's 3. And how do I know for sure that I just finished row 3? Because I just did 1, 2, 3 blocks. So now I'm ready to do row 4. Starts the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over because you're going to do a double crochet. Count back 1, 2, 3, 4. Work into that back bump. That's 1 double crochet. The next back bump. That's 2 double crochets. The next back bump. That's 3 double crochets. As the shawl gets bigger and bigger, you really start to see what I mean when the shawl's just kind of hanging below the block that you just made. This is just dangling there. And when you bring it up from behind, it puts you in exactly the right place to put that slip stitch and join this round to what, or this row to what you've been working on. There's that slip stitch. I'm going to chain 3, 3 double crochets into that same space. Oh, you can start to see a color change happening. See these little pops of pink that are showing up? This is the great thing about this yarn. There's no hard line of the color transition. It really happens so slowly and beautifully. 2, 3. And you'll be making this and people will be like, what are you doing? How are you making those colors happen? You can totally take credit for it. I mean, if they're asking you that question, they probably don't know how magical Noro yarns are. But really, you don't have to put in any extra effort. The yarn does all of this beautiful magical color work for you. 2 more double crochets. See that? That's the end of row 4. So row 5 starts the same way. Chain 6, 4, 5, 6. You'll be on autopilot with this pattern before you know it. So when I first started playing with corner to corner, I was traveling and I had a random skein of Noro in my bag and I just stuck it in there with a hook and said, I don't know, I'll figure out something while I'm traveling. And so I started playing with corner to corner crochet. And I was having a great time. And I was like, you know what? This is going to make a great triangle shawl. So here we are. There's row 4 dangling down below. So we're going to bring it up from behind. So it'll sit right next to that last block that we made in row 4. And then right here, you see those 3 double crochets, that first 3 chains. It's that space that we want to do the slip stitch into. And when you do that slip stitch, it kind of opens it up and makes it easier to find when you do the next 3 double crochets, just like that. So there I was sitting in an airport, minding my own business, because airports are crazy and people are moving left and right and sideways and up and down and everything else. Just crocheting on my shawl, and I heard these 2 people sort of behind me and off to the side talking about crochet. And one woman was talking about the project she was working on for her grandbaby. And the other woman was saying, you know, I knew I should have brought something with me and I just didn't. And I heard the companion that was with her say, I told you to pack a project. And she said, we've got so much travel ahead of us and I'm going to be so bored. And I said, you know what? I have more yarn in my bag. I always travel with more than one project. So I got up, I popped over, I taught her how to do corner to corner, and I sent her on her way with my yarn and my hook. And Michelle, I hope you're having fun. So here I am at the last block of row 5. That's my chain 3. I'm going to do 3 double crochets into that same space. See how easy it is? You get to a point where you can do this and you can tell stories. Wow, you can really see the pink starting to come in and turn this really bright yellow into something really peachy. So that's row 5. And you see that sawtooth peak? That's the same thing that we have here at the top of our shawl, because this whole shawl is just that technique. You're just gonna keep going row after row after row. You go from row 1 with 1 block to row 60 with 60 blocks all the way across the top. And you can see all of those beautiful color transitions. There's no hard stop between the green and the blue or the rust or that really dark blue. It just happens so gradually and makes just this beautiful little checkerboard patchwork. And it is really a super comfy shawl. It fits great over your shoulders if you need a little extra warmth, or if you're like me, I like the triangle shawls to wear bandana style in the front, cross them in the back, tuck the ends under, and you are ready to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this project. You see just how easy corner to corner is. You're starting in the corner and you're just working out. You can pick up a wonderful yarn that changes colors, so it does all the work for you. When you've finished and you've gotten all 60 rows done, I do recommend wet blocking this project. You want to soak it in Eucalan or another wool wash for about 15 minutes so it really penetrates to the core of the yarn. And then you want to pin it out to really open up those squares and settle your stitches. Let it dry. Mine dried pretty quick. And then it just moves beautifully. It has great drape. And you are going to want to wear this as soon as you finish it. So I hope you've enjoyed making the corner to corner shawl with me. Join me in the next episode where we are going to learn how to change colors, make stripes, and how to square out our corner to corner work so that we can make a rectangle or a square. Remember, you can pick up a kit at onebighappy.com so that you can crochet along with me. Be sure to like and click the bell to subscribe and know when we have our next video. And leave a comment and let me know how much you're enjoying the project, how much you're enjoying the yarn, what you want to learn next. I'll see you in the next episode. Happy crocheting.